allow me to remind you of what On the Couch is all about, just in case, just in case. It's a safe space where we encourage each other to be true to ourselves, where we come to realize that we are no superwomen and that we don't even have to. And we should stop putting pressure on ourselves and other women, expecting us and them to be and act like superwomen. On the Couch is a space where we will encourage each other to accept our own realities and find strength and confidence within ourselves first. A space where we will enter in our rawness and come out feeling normal, beautiful, accepted, light, understood, appreciated, unjudged, acknowledged, feminine, nurtured, and accommodated, amongst other things. It is a space where we want to experience joy in the midst of everything that we go through as women, and we have no one to share those with. Where we will gain the courage to let go of the things and the people that don't serve us. Be intentional about that and all our actions, making the most of our lives while breaking boundaries and breaking cycles and live our lives as authentically as possible, knowing how to respond to life without compromising our true selves. I think that word for me after authentically is a key one, because it has to start with self and knowing that we matter and that it's okay to say no and not feel guilty about it, and say yes when we feel what we are agreeing to suits us first before it suits the other person. And while doing all that, we need to be able to show our vulnerable side in this safe space, Angit. And knowing that by showing that side, it doesn't make us weak, and that being weak doesn't make us failures. So I hope that today we conclude the theme of authenticity and living our best life since Guzoba end of January anyway, this weekend, with the hope that from today onwards, we will challenge ourselves to do a self-assessment, frequently, to determine whether or not we are living up to our own personal standards of being authentic with ourselves and with others. Because if we're not doing anyone any favor, and we're not doing ourselves any justice. So, yeah. And as part of the strategy, there's a video two video clips actually, that I wanted to share with you, and I hope they will find a place in your hearts. Let me quickly share the first one.
I would never pretend to be another. I would never want to be another. I would not change who I am just to fit in. I am me. I am not perfect, but I'm working on myself, working to become the best version of myself. I am working on myself to continue to expand my own self through my own work in my own way. I am me. Not the me you think I am. Not the me you want me to be, but just me, the one I want to be. I am me. I make my own decisions. I don't follow. I walk my own path. It's not always easy, but I'd rather walk alone than walk with others in the wrong direction. I am me. I am strong. I have a big heart. I speak my truth. I don't back down. I am me. I don't settle. I go after what I want. I won't apologize for being me. I am me. I accept you. I accept everyone as they are, as they want to be. That's me.
I'm gonna share the second one, which is my favorite. This is one of my ultimate favorite video clips.
Jackie Ryan just wrote on Facebook, "I'm tired of being strong. I want to be weak." And Iana said that so many of us wear that as our badge. You know, those of you, how many of you are the strong ones? Really? Yeah. I believe it though. Not good. No, but they're saying, yay, you know, strong. Yeah, and why isn't that good? Because then, first of all, it's probably inauthentic. Yeah. You know, that you always put other people before you. Yeah. But you put yourself last. How you treat yourself is how you treat God. So you're putting God last. Because you are the representative of God in your life. Come on with it. You. Well, that's really deep. Now that just was an aha moment. You don't have nothing right. Where's my writing tools, Steve? Now, I've never heard it put that way before. Yeah, because you are the representation of God in your life. And you put you last and put other people ahead of you, which means you're putting other things and other people ahead of God in your life. Really? Yes, really. But I thought God said, Jesus said, what you do to the least of these and how you treat other people, you treat your brother like yourself. Okay, that's when you're getting into the service. But in your life, yes, you've got to be as good to you as you want to be to God in order to be of service to others in the world. Thank you very much. So it's not selfish to put yourself first. No, it's self-full. It's self-full. It's self-full to be first, to be as good as possible to you, to take care of you, to keep you whole and healthy. That doesn't mean that you disregard everything and everyone, but you want to come with your cup full. You know, my cup runneth over. Yeah. What comes out of the cup is for y'all. What's in the cup is mine. But I got to keep my cup full. It has to be full. I like that. And so many of us think that, you know, we're going to get brownie points in heaven, like we're going to get into sit in the box seat section, if, you know, if we just give and give and give and give. Now, here's what the Course in Miracles says, which I love. The Course in Miracles says that when you give to others to the degree that you sacrifice yourself, you make the other person a thief. Because when you start sacrificing yourself for other people, you make them a thief because they're stealing from you what you need and they don't even know it. Get that. Okay.
How was that, people? Did I hit the right notes?
Hi, Nomzamo.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's such a, yes, sorry, efficacy. It's such a very powerful message, especially when she says, you know, around the fact that it's not being selfish, but it's being self-full, when you put yourself first, but also, you know, when you allow somebody or you allow a situation to bring you misery, how that when you turn it around, how you are actually making another person a thief in your life. The fact that, you know, you always, I think it's human nature to always want to blame another person, or you always want to take responsibility. As women, we wear a lot of badges, or we fill a lot of roles. We somebody's mother, we somebody's friend, wife, you know, girlfriend, whatever it may be. And if we were to use an example of a relationship, you know, staying in a relationship knowing very well that you are not happy, and you don't communicate your unhappiness, whatever the reasons may be, the fact that now you end up making your partner a thief in your life because you feel every time you're engaging with this person, and this is on any other relationship, whether it be friendship as well, you end up making that other person who doesn't even know how miserable you are a thief in your life, and that is a really selfish way of being part of a relationship.
Yeah, true. And Jaime, without even knowing, we always mean well, and it's because maybe of the socialization. Whose mother here have you ever heard your mother saying, I want to put myself first? That was unheard of a generation prior to ours. And I think it's our responsibility to change the status quo and start questioning izinto and speaking up on things ezingasijabulisi nezingasihlali kahle, and things that are simply not us. Because when you are stretched, especially in your personal life, when you are stretched, and you feel all sorts of things, like Ututu was saying, Ukuti, she feels stressed, she feels overwhelmed. You have all these feelings that are a kind of signs zokukutshela ukuthi something is not right and you need to do something. And if we don't start changing the narrative, my parents ethu, and start speaking up and start focusing on feeling and on ensuring that our cups are full, and making it vocalizing the fact that if my cup is not running over, then I have nothing to offer, because I cannot, angeke ngikwazi ukuchathazela ukukuthelela what is inside of my cup, because then ngizoshoda, and mangishoda I get a headache, I get moody, I scream at the kids, I don't talk nice, I'm not a nice person to my husband, zonke lezo zinto lezo. So that when we start introducing this narrative to our kids and our families, our kids grow up knowing ukuthi umama, always talks about this cup and it's important. And you tell the kids ukuthi, if you do this and this and this, you're taking away from my cup. And these are the reactions you get in hindsight. So let's try, it's everyone's responsibility in the house setting, if I can focus on that we fill each other's cups, so that whatever overflows we can then share and exchange amongst ourselves. So masonke sizoqhamuka, ngetiye lase-Buckingham Palace ngazwa kuthiwa ligcwali, because the English knows lizosheshe lifike etiyeni instead of going through the mouth. But yeah, but can we have our cups full? To me, you have your handful, handful. You have your hand up.
Yes, I do have a mouthful, but
I know you.
I'll be brief. I think you're spot on, and Zamo, and hi, ladies. What's important for me, or as I've walked through this journey of trying to be authentic, I've realized over time that in life we don't even know what is in the cup or what we should even fill the cup with. So how do we overfill it when we don't even know in the beginning what we should fill it? And I think as one grows, then you realize in life what are the things that mean a lot to you. How you should navigate through life as a woman, as a business person, as a Black woman, as a white person, as a firstborn, and all of that. So the two videos just I suppose reminded me of that, which very often we also hear these things: fill your cup, but we don't even know what filling your cup means or what we should be filling our cup with. Yeah.
And do you guys know what filling the cup mean? And for you, for each of us, and what works for you? What are the things that mean that much to you that you run to when you need to fill your cup? Anyone who can share? First question, do you even know what to fill your cup with? Do you even think it's empty? Because maybe Silana, we're at different levels of journeying towards living our best lives authentically. Some of us have tried some of the things, and some are working, some are not. So if we can just share. Anyone?
Zamo, sorry, I would like to share. Sorry, guys, I haven't worked out how to raise my hand on the phone. So just on my personal journey, I think the question that I always ask myself, and anybody who knows me here will know how often I change my mind. I change my mind as frequently as I change my underwear, which is often, every day. So the question that I ask myself every time I feel that there is something lacking, or that my cup is half empty rather than half full, is what is it that makes unozuko happy? And that has to be something that is not linked to what another person or somebody can give me. It's something that I have to find within. And the moment that I struggle to find an answer to that by looking within myself, that's when I realize that I need to go out there and look for that thing that makes me happy. It's not about my daughter. It's not about my employer. It's not about my friends. It's not about my siblings or my parents. It's about what is it that makes me genuinely happy, that when I go to bed at night, I am thoroughly fulfilled, if there's such a term. So in answering your question, when you ask, how do we go about in making sure that our cups are full? For me, that is my thing. And an example, when I say it's not something that I can find from somebody, what makes me happy is helping others. Now that may sound like a contradiction to my earlier statement, because it's kind of like I'm looking for that love from somebody else. But I think, let me use an example of being in the corporate space, working, especially women. You find that when you're in a corporate environment, it's hard to clap for another person. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine during the week, and it was around where awulimali indawo when you celebrate success to yomuntu. And in my journey, I've realized that it's not fun being blessed alone. And how do I share my joy and share in that experience when Nomzamo is being blessed, when Nukoli is being blessed? And being genuinely happy for another person, and how that makes you feel as a human being, because you start to see the people around you, the people in your circle succeeding. For me, that brings me joy, to see other people succeed. So yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you, Zugo. Anyone else? Well, while you're still deliberating, I'll share my piece. A few years ago, I think it was after some time trying to internalize this video clip Iyanla in Oprah's show, that I interrogated myself a lot. I had to be very hard with myself and the truths that lied within that I was not ready to face. Because there were moments when, I suppose, as the families grew, I just felt like I'm losing myself, and labantu la endlini abangizwa mangithi kahle kahle mina I am Nomzamo. Konke ke lokho, all these other titles, they are just that, titles. I was not born a wife. I was not born a mother. I was born uNomzamo, and I miss that. And I had to first pray about it so that ngizothi mase ngikhuluma nomyeni, yabo imbewu ihlale emhlabathini ovundile. And when I finally gathered up the courage to talk to him about how I was feeling, I told him ukuthi this thing of, my roles are overpowering the person that I am. I've stopped being unomzamo. I've now become a mother, a wife, all these other things, and I miss unomzamo, and I feel good to unomzamo. I can rediscover her by doing A, B, and C. And some of the things that I told him that I would like to start doing was, mina, I love my sleep. During the week I work too hard, and ubuthongo bami ngiyabhanga ukuthi yabo makukhona izinto ezingivuse ekuseni, morning flights and whatnot, ngiyabhanga ukuthi Saturday ngizolala. And I'm not gonna be that wife and mother who will say ngicela ungibabysithele abantwana this Saturday. How do I ask ubaba wabantwana to babysit abantwana abakhe naye? He just looks after them like we will together. So it's not a matter of asking him to babysit. So I told him, Guti, you'll have to start taking over the looking after kids over weekends, because mina, I want to leave the house. I want to go to a bookshop and browse around books, things that make me happy. Browse around books, smell them, sit down, order tea or coffee. And I don't even like tea or coffee. It's just that they don't serve my gin and tonic kulama bookshops. Otherwise I could. But do things that fulfill, even if it's not a bookstore. I want to go to Deco Presents and walk around and look at beautiful pieces, art galleries, look at beautiful artwork. That makes me happy. And ungangikhaphi. Ngicela ukuyenza le by myself. It was not easy at first. He was really not impressed. Angazi noma bekacanga ukuthi khona abobhuti abazongibona or what, mangihamba ngiyi-one angekho my bodyguard ngiyadlala. But yeah, no, initially he wasn't impressed, but I was not prepared to back down, because if I do, I will confuse him about exactly what I've just shared with him. And once he started seeing how much fulfilled I come back, mangibuya kule ndawo zami, I think he started seeing the benefit. Now my cup is now full and overflowing. So nje mangena nje, overflowing in abundance, and everyone is happy. So he started encouraging me, how namhlanje kwashaya lesikhathi, aren't you going to your places to do your stuff? And you could tell ukuthi lo muntu ngathi enjoy my absence for those few hours a little bit too much for my liking. But he slowly understood. I think that was the beginning of my journey of being authentic with myself first, then with him, because angithi ngishara naye umbhede, so he's the next person ekumele ngimu include every time I evolve, so that it doesn't come as a surprise to him. Because if I journey with him, then the more he understands and the more he supports me. And I've been in that journey, and I'm supporting it. I'm enjoying it so much, and he's been so supportive because he understands, and he understands even this on the couch movement is what makes me happy. I get so fulfilled to a point where I don't mind ishift yasemsebenzini iphela ngalesikhathi, then I'm a mother until 8 o'clock when they go to sleep, then I'm a wife stroke girlfriend until ngabo 10, then yebo ngimuphi imfanelo zakhe alale, then I get to izinto on the couch until about 3 sometimes, because it makes me happy, it fulfills me. So the fact yokuthi I now operate on a 3-hour sleep, for me it doesn't matter anymore, because this is such a beautiful baby that I'm nurturing and I'm giving my all to, once everyone else is taken care of, and it's part of this whole living authentically and unapologetically, even to myself, because I cannot do something and still feel guilty about doing it. Yeah. Zinzi, your hand is up. Thank you.
Yeah, well, hello everybody. I
Hello.
just want to just maybe talk about or talk to those people who don't know what fulfills them. People who, I mean, you get to a point in life, for whatever reason, and you somehow feel what you've lost yourself. You can't remember who you are. And there's nothing wrong with it sometimes. I mean, with me, if you asked me 10 years ago who I am and what I'm about, I would have given you a very quick answer, a very precise food. But if you ask me now, the first thing I probably will say is I'm a mother. And I'm miserable when my kids are not around. And if you ask me, Guti, what is it that makes you happy? It's my kids. Is there anything wrong with that? Is there, and there are people who are going through so much in Zabo Guti. They feel so empty. So when you ask them, Guti, what makes you, what makes you happy? What fills your cup? They don't have an answer. And how do we get to a point where we say, okay, it's okay. Uti, what fulfills me is being a mother. It's okay, ungazi, at some point in your life, uti, what fulfills you, what makes you happy. And how do we move on from that, uti? Remember who you are. After all of that, or with all of that, you need to remember who you are.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. And then Tabi here, good chat room is saying good yeah, Grace, a lot has changed in my life and I need to redefine what fulfills me. So yeah, like I'm saying, this journey, it's a good journey, but at different levels. And this is a safe space for us to explore for this kashanyana, to take you with, to say, this is how mine started. And then you go back and see how you want to start yours, and start redefining by first asking, and since you mentioned this about the kids, I mean, the twins are your first kids, and without them, mama, you feel ukuthi yo kodwa ngaba yini ngaphandle kwalaba, but they grow up, when ubaba nomama ekhaya would say, ubaba would always say to mama, we started this journey. When we started this journey, it was just the two of us. Bazohamba bashiye, and I don't want us to forget how it was like before Sisala so too. And that taught me something. But through observing my parents, I also learned to Guti, maybe it works for them, their lifestyle. And I did say, Yuguti, I don't think any of us in this platform has ever heard of their parents saying they want to go away and have their cup full. Nathi besomangal ukuthi awasathandwa. I'm the oil that fills your cup, so ufuna ukuyoyifila kuphi. But then I look at my mom. My mom is my dad's best friend. And then after my dad comes us, and then ngiyayizibuza ukuthi, who is she? After us, who is she? And I don't know. I get pendulela, but she's very happy. She's very fulfilled. But mina ngifuna ukuba uNomzamo, and always remember ukuthi I am uNomzamo, and being a mother and a wife and a friend and all these other hats that I wear, they are just that, hats that I wear. When I take them off, kusalabani, and that is the person I'm interested in ultimately. Anyone else? Ntabi, maybe you can share with us your journey in wanting to redefine what fulfills you. Sorry to pick on you, but you make a very important
Yeah,
point.
no, it's fine. So my son, so guys, hello. I've got a 22-year-old son, and he wasn't raised by me. And the first child that I raised is my second. She's now 8 years old, and obviously with the second one, she was very much planned, and my life revolved so much around her. So that I didn't get the name of Losisi that spoke just before you did, when she said that her kids fulfills her. For the longest of times, my daughter fulfilled me so much. But then now she's growing. She is her own person. She's got her own hobbies, and then I just feel so out. I feel ukuthi, hi man, this child is neglecting me. Who am I, besides being the best mother that I can be to this child? Because I literally stopped yonke into, doing the things that I love, the exercising, the going out, hanging out with friends, because I was like, you know what, I am not messing this up the second time around. So I want to be a mother, a present mother.
And Bayakula, Buzuzugo, she now feels very neglected by Usiamtanda because Usiamtanda is almost 10 going on 20. And she has her own life. And Uzugo always complains, you know, I feel replaced and I don't
Yeah.
know what to do with myself. And in the Nami, I was there. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they can also share Uguti, Bona, did they feel the same thing? Guti, there's a phase where kids just fulfill you so much. You I remember how I said after maternity leave, I would quickly go to his room. And then mangifika ku-cot yakhe, I would bless him. And then I would go, and the nanny used to ask, wenzani? Ngithi ngiyamthatha so that ngizohamba naye, enough ukuthi this is enough to carry me mangiya emsebenzini, so that by the time ngibuya I just have enough yokuthi ngingene ngimbambe futhi. And kids do that, but masabakhulile then sisala senzani.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, in me, and I'm gonna be very honest, in me trying to be the very best mother that I could be the second time around, is I even neglected my husband. So he found himself, he found his own hobbies, he found things to do, which served me fine at the time. But now Magapum, I'm like, how can you? Where are you going? It's like, Haibo, hlala nengane, angithi wena, that's what you enjoy. And then all of a sudden I'm like, but how buya phela? It's like, it doesn't work like that. So it's quite a journey.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mrs. Pasan, I see you. To me, hello. I see you. Anyone else who wants to contribute?
Nam, I don't know how to unmute, how to put up my hand.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm too used to Teams, so now this thing is confusing me. So with me, I think you asked a question about what fills my cup. And it took me a while to actually articulate this to myself. And I think that one of the things that make me very happy is to be able to have time for myself. Because once I make time for myself, then I am able to give time to other people. And I think this happened quite early in my life. And as I said, I couldn't articulate it for myself. When I started working, I worked as a journalist and I worked very crazy hours. It was exciting at the time, during the ANC was still banned and stuff like that. When you're a journalist, people thought you were doing an exciting job. But one of the things that used to frustrate me was to find that once a month I have to work over weekends. So that meant I don't have time, to spend with my family because, having spent 4 years at varsity, you come back and can't spend time with my parents and everything else. And, after 3 years, at the peak of my career as a journalist, I said to my parents, I need to change jobs. And they said, why? And they said, I'm feeling claustrophobic. It's consuming a lot of my time. And I find that I can't find, the time to do the things that I love. And throughout my career, actually, I've realized that I like spending time with myself. And even if, in a day, even if it's 30 minutes, as I said to you, Fridays are my best days. I buy magazines on a Friday and I sit and I just read magazines. So Friday evening, I just do that. I'll watch TV or whatever. Now it's lockdown, I live with my daughter, but she knows there's a time where I just sit and read magazines, or I'll say goodnight, I go to my bedroom and nothing, I play music, so that I'm able to give her more time. Otherwise, then I start getting resentful, and stuff like that. And where I actually realized that this is what I love most was when I worked in the tobacco industry. And throughout my career, that was the highest paying job in my life. But after 6 years, I realized that I'm beginning to hate this job because I don't have time for myself. By the time I come home, because I have to fight battles all the time, and sometimes there's a crisis over the weekend, I don't have time to myself. And, and I just said, I'd like to leave. I'd like to leave. And they were all surprised. I said, no, I couldn't articulate it. I had to take that time off to realize that what was making me unhappy in my job was the fact that, I'm not doing what I love most. I need to spend time with myself. And when I had my daughter, who is now 21, going for 22, one of the things that I did, I don't know if you still remember, before I went back to work, I had to make sure that I have processes in place. At 6 months, I took her to a daycare center, and I also had a helper at home, so that when I'm at work, I'm not worried that, what's happening. And when I come back home, I've got someone at home, and if she's not well, maybe with a mild flu, I'm not resentful that I have to remain at home with her. I leave her with a helper, and then I go to work, I come back, I spend time with her. And I love being a parent. I love spending time with my children, even now. But they know as well that we haven't spoken about it. I have lived it. And they know that at some point, it's me time. In December, I visited my son in Joburg. There's a cottage at the back. And when he's looking for me, he'll just come to the cottage and say, I knew I'll find you here. And I'm just saying, no, guys, I'm having fun, but right now I just need, I need to spend time with myself. And I found that it worked for me without, there are other things that I love, that make me very happy, spending time with my friends and my family. But for me, I've articulated it for myself. And one last example that I'll give to you. I'm an executive in one of the executive directors in the company that I work for. And so my boss says to me the Monday morning, I can't remember what he said. And I said, you know, Greg, on Friday after 5, I switch off my laptop. And I never check my emails. I charge it on Sunday evening. And then I switch it off on Monday morning. He looks at me, he says, wow, lucky you. And I said, hey, and I said, you know me, if there's a crisis, I'll get up. But I have to make time for myself so that come Monday, I make time for my work. And they said, and I mean, I'm not even feeling guilty about what you're telling me. You have your wife. During the week, your wife takes care of whatever happens at home. So the weekend is my time. And I find that unapologetically so. That's what I do all the time. And I mean, that's why I was excited that, wow, okay, wow, this is what I'm going to do with my Friday evening, because that's it, done with work. And it works for me. It works very well.
Yeah, and just to add to what you've said, Sissy, about the sessions being one of the things that you do to find time for yourself. I remember when I started, getting out of the house. It was because of Usistoli, and I was just dragging myself a lot of the times. But then I had to make an effort, and I must say I'm not there yet in finding myself or finding things that fulfills me as yet. But then I've made quite a significant progress, because when Mrs. Polly met me a few years ago, I was quite a mess, and manje, I'm a little put together. So let us not underestimate this kind of sessions and the gatherings that we have as women. Yes, one does come into this kind of sessions being so confused. Guti, I don't know myself. I don't know what I want, But then the more you listen to abanye abantu and what they're going through, something will trigger, and eventually you will be on that path. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Zugo, you've had your hand up for some time. Then Goli, you'll be next.
Zamo, no, sorry. I think it was Usis Itu. It was more a question, and it was like, how do I phrase it? So from what it's like, the various responsibilities or hats that we wear, and the one about your children and the fact that they'll grow apart and find their way. So it is just Usistu Itu, I mean Sis Itu, she covered it for me, the fact that finding that time. And I think I found my older me in her, because all the things that she spoke about in her earlier lives, it's what the journey that I'm going through. And it's not like, okay, I do this job and it fulfills me, but where's my time? And I thought just sleeping from Friday to Sunday on the couch, that is my time. But when I start hearing, the things that are being said on this call, you tend to realize that, okay, life is not about browsing the internet looking for deco things and sitting on your couch the whole weekend. So yeah, that's the question that I had for the thing, which was then answered by Usisi.
Thank you, Nozugo. Goli?
I just want to add that while we're still talking about things that make us feel fulfilled, we also need to be aware of things that make us feel unfulfilled. Ne? Almost like a tongue twister. Yeah, we need to be mindful and get to know things that make us feel unfulfilled, so that we can also work consciously, intentionally, to minimize them. It's almost like a process of depositing and withdrawing. So we need to know what we need to deposit, what we need to withdraw, And also sometimes we might not even know certain things by words. So it means that we need to be in tune with our feelings and how our body reacts to certain things, to how maybe your heart beats faster, to how you get anxious, to how you break into a sweat maybe when something happens, whether sometimes how you're spoken to. As it was talking about also work, like I can add with my journey when I was still working for the airline as a flight attendant. Towards the end, going to work was making me physically sick. I started becoming a wallflower. I didn't want to speak to anybody. Didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to interact with passengers. I didn't want to do anything. I was always happy the moment I get to the hotel room. So when I started being aware as to how work was starting to make me feel, I had to find ways of coping with work. But I could tell that long term, work was actually gonna cause me to either go loco, lose my mind, or I was gonna start getting into trouble also because I was irritable, I was short, I was moody. And we all know that, I mean, flight attendants are expected to be always on your best persona. It's almost like you're always at stage performing and everything, which is draining. So if you do not find ways to actually counter the effects of what your work takes from you, you might find yourself having to pay a bigger price in time. So in summary, I'm just saying that as much as we are focusing on finding the things that fulfill us, while we're looking for those things, we can be helping ourselves by minusing things that make us feel unfulfilled. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I wanted to say.
You make perfect sense, Xoli. Thank you so much. To me?
So I think I agree with Xoli in that, Mina, what I needed for the process started with really unbundling and pouring out the stuff that was in my cup first. The self-sabotage that we have as a result of societal norms. When you are a mother, you can't do this. When you're a Christian, you can't do that. If you are a boss, you can't do this. So I had to find things that don't resonate with my spirit and get rid of those. So that I could then see what doesn't go with me and what goes with me. The self-judgment, if you've got cellulite, you cannot put a beautiful cozy and actually get in the water and swim, irrespective of what your body looks like. You've got cellulite, you're a grown-ass woman, sorry for the language, just get in the water and feel sexy. So that was the beginning of my journey. And as then I went along, I also then started filling it with a number of things. I read a lot about self-enlightenment and self-rediscovery. And so, I've got 5 things or a few other things, but I'll mention just 5 key things that at any given time I try and live by. The first one being to follow my intuition and my voice. Very often you've got that gut feel, this thing is right, or this is how I feel. But very often we put it aside and we're like, that's not what it is, and that's very often that voice inside of us. When you think back, you feel, I should have listened to that gut feel. I was tired, or I didn't feel like cooking. Now I'm shouting at the kids, I'm shouting at the husband because I was not true to myself, and the second one being, speaking my truth. Say exactly how you feel. Being politically correct in inverted commas sometimes is not to our best advantage. It's good not to, to obviously one has to be tactful and not to be rude, but speaking your truth for me has saved me. And as the Sagittarius I am, I also follow star signs. We speak, we speak from our mouths. We don't, not that we don't have filter, but the less filter sometimes you have, the better, because sometimes you over filter yourself,
and it's to your detriment. The third one is rediscovering the things that I really like for me, not for my family. I used to be a people's pleaser. You know, everything I did, whether it's my child or my husband or my family, I did and spent my time around other people. And over time, you know, come my birthday, I feel, ish, no one called me, or no one does this for me. And it's really not their fault, because I was making them thieves, as Yanla said. You know, I was empty, and in the meantime, giving. At the end of the day, I found myself feeling like they're not giving for me or giving to me as equally as I gave to them. And it really wasn't their fault, because I wasn't forced to give. So I've learned to rediscover the things that make me happy. I went bungee jumping from the Soweto Towers. I love dressing up and looking pretty in my high heels, even during lockdown. I do it in my own space. You know, I like my drinking. I was being his Kuza the other day thinking, shucks, do me, half of your pictures on Facebook are with you holding a glass of something. But I was like, but that's you. You know, you love a good drink, you love your champagne, you love your wine. So why not? That is really you. You know, you are not an alcoholic, but you love your drinks. So it's okay. You know, I love dancing, so I go dancing when there's no corona. I like taking calculated risks. You know, we hold ourselves so much because ubano zotini. I've stopped doing that, you know, for myself, especially for the things that mean a lot to me. And one important thing, I've also started consciously practicing gratitude. You know, I sit there, I've got a journal, and I write about the things that I'm grateful for, whether it's my children, whether it's the fact that I'm actually breathing. And that generates positivity in the head, and it makes my day even better. And that's, yeah, 5 of the things that have really made me, when I have those things, I feel like my cup is full, and hence gratitude being the 5th one, because once I've done those 4 things, then I feel, then I can give to other people. We can share drink and I can chat. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Tumi. I was hoping you were going to mention your recent photo shoot, but okay, I'm not gonna mention it on your behalf, because I thought that was so empowering, self-empowering, Jay.
No, but yeah, well, that goes to the calculated risk. For me to even post that, I'm not one to post even my cleavage, you know. But as of 2020, I realized I love the way my boobs look, and I want to show them off. So, ladies, last year I got a photographer to do a full photo shoot for 3 hours, a Bordeaux photo shoot where I'm all lingerie and whatever. And boy, did I feel sexy, because that's me. I like dressing up. I like feeling sexy, and it's just appreciating myself. And it wasn't done for anybody else but for me. So I sometimes, you know, go through the pictures and think, oh, snap, girl, you are heish. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Thank you, Tumi. I can attest to Guti. What she's saying, she's living it. I've seen it in the times that I've engaged with her or be in her presence, and I just love seeing that transformation, and it's just so wonderful. Oguti, you know, it's like a lot of us women are kind of thinking along the same lines, but in parallel, until such movements bring us together. And then we realize, actually, I'm not on this journey by myself, and I can learn and grow from others, and who are ahead of me in this journey, and those who are ahead can still learn other things from those who are coming, because we come from different spaces which have brought us to where we are now. Anyone else? Oh, Dumsil.
Okay, so earlier I was about to say something. I think for me, I really had to empty my cup because it was filled, but filled with so many things from life experiences that I allowed to define me. And I think mostly through prayer and being in tune with like Usisi said earlier, Guti, your gut feel. For me, I'll say being in tune with the Holy Spirit. He's helped me to unpack a lot of things because I think sikula sinama perceptions are teased because they are based on cultural norms or Christian values, but that come from a flawed environment. So it just taints our outlook and our understanding of God. And for me, the whole transformation and understanding of who God is in my life, it has brought me to a place where I'm just happy and so grateful to be me, because my cup is being emptied of everything that was not that was misrepresented, whether by my past experiences, just life in in general. And he's he's become my place of solace, Uguti, even when I don't have that time to be alone. God is still there to give me that peace, and that He fills my cup, even in places where I feel ukuthi angiphumeleli ukuzenzela isikhathi. But He has really filled my cup, and I'm at a place where it's just me and Him. Before all these other relationships, whether as a wife or as a sister, even as a mother, because at some point I felt like I was really losing myself. So I just had to let go, just really, really, really let go. I'm at a place where it's just me and Him, and we are redefining the way going forward. And I don't really expect anything from anyone anymore. I'm expectant of Him, and anything I do because kubuya enhlizweni yami, and I'm not expecting any form of reciprocation, because it's basically from a place of overflow and abundance. And I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with my reality. I'm content, but it doesn't mean that I'm complacent. I am moving forward, but I'm just grateful to be alive. Just grateful to be alive and surrounded by wonderful women, especially with this topic here today about authenticity. It's rare to find young women or just women sharing about authenticity, because it's not something that you find commonly anyway. So yeah, I think just emptying those cups is what helps us to actually define what it is that you need to fill your cup with.
And look
so
at
that's
ta-da!
Oh wow. How lovely is that?
Ta-da!
Woo! La la, nice.
That is so hard. She
was
loves her
told this
skin,
is
the skin
nothing.
she's in. Hey,
I have to come for a drink at her house to see
the rest.
Yeah. But yeah.
She
Thank
looks
you for
hot. She
sharing
looks
to me.
so hot.
I
No,
went.
no, your boobs. Your mahle.
Really? Ushap. Okay, that's to me for you. All right. Oh, I was saying, thank you to me. I was saying to Msiluguti, and your journey It's so marvelous to witness. And look at the doors that has opened for you. The other time, I'm just scrolling the corridors in say Instagram, and boom, Unang Udumi reviewing a book. I'm like, Udumi wouldn't do that. The other time she tells me about this exciting initiative she's been invited into. The next thing, Udumi, seka sekhawuchini yomunye umuntu, you know, bakhuluma izinto, and I'm like, Udumi. So yeah, Udumi wouldn't, the Dumi I used to know wouldn't have easily agreed to that, but I see Guti Engati, her journey is redirecting her path to saying yes to things that she wouldn't have normally have said yes to. So big ups to you. You're doing great, and it's so wonderful to witness that. Hi, Louisa. Hi, JM.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I just joined in late. I had a bit of a crisis. I was hoping I'll still find you, but I'm glad you're all still on.
Yes, we are. Thank goodness for the patience of these ladies. And I think the topic is exciting enough.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, there was a comment from Mrs. Pasonu Buitumel. I fully agree, Cody. The journey of being fulfilled, you need to be mindful of what does not fulfill you. So yeah, I think that's quite key as well. Okay, anyone else who would like to share? Then I think we can wrap up, guys, in 5 minutes. We've already taken a lot of people's time, and yeah, it's a Friday evening. Minang Nanking can still hang around. Anyone else who can share with us their journey of living an authentic life unapologetically? Okay. All right. Since Uluiza Alana, guys, Uluiza is the lady behind everything you see on the couch social media pages. She's become a very important person in my life. So what you see on the pages, they're on the couch. She's responsible for she's the creative mind behind the pages. So Louisa, thank you so much for even joining, Shem. Now choice. You create it, you become part of it. So yeah. Cody, you have your hand up.
Yeah, but it's not for tonight, but it's for whenever that we talk relationships.
Next
I
month.
think we need
Yes, please.
talk authenticity in relationships, ne? It's very vital. Some of you obviously know that I got married, like what? It's a year now? It's a year, yeah.
Mm.
So if you're used to being your authentic self in every area of your life, it's only natural that you want to take that self into every aspect of who you are. So as a new wife, as a new bride, even with your in-laws, like normally society tells us so much as to what a wife is supposed to be, what a new bride is supposed to be towards their in-laws. But some of us, we've got also our own ideas as to who we're supposed to be, even in that area or when we wear those hats. So I find that it's quite important to try as much as possible to not want to dilute yourself to impress those new people that you adopt. I find that as women, normally we tend to want to give up so much of ourselves to impress the new people that we get when we get married. For example, I was asking my husband the question, like, when do we draw the line between being called daughters when we get married And when do we get to be called daughter-in-laws? Because there's certain expectation with daughter-in-law, but every time when we get married, we are told, but no, you're not the daughter in this household, but at the same time, to a hamakoti kotis, I understand. So when you live your truth and you've thought about those things, it's just one of those things, So when we talk about relationships, I'd like us to go back to the theme of authenticity in our relationships, romantic relationships, authenticity when it comes to the other people that get on board in our lives. I don't know if in a sense with how I'm trying to phrase authenticity when it comes to relationships and the in-laws and all of those things, and what society has told us who to be as blushing brides, how to always bite your tongue. How do you know when not to bite your tongue? How do you know when to bite your tongue? Done.
Yeah, okay. Louisa, we can add to the content page. Now, this one won't be part of the February. February, see, Valentine spirit the whole month. Ngeke size siyikhulume leyo iyeza ikhona inyanga yayo. I can see it in my mind's view, my mind's eye. Yeah, sizoyifaka, and that's a very important subject actually. It's a very important subject. Jay, without digress, let me quickly share with you something. Early in my marriage, maybe like for my 5 years, so kukhona my in-laws baze komunye umngcwabo we-relative. So I thought, since we can talk death-related issues that are hardly spoken about, especially when you're married to a conservative Zulu family. So ngithi kubo, hayi since nikhona-ke masale sesikhuluma le, because angithi masibuya lapha esililweni sebayakhuluma, hey unkosikazi walaphana, hey ngithi mna no masiyikhulumeni indaba yokuthi yabona, if uNkulunkulu ukhumbule ubaba kaShawu before akhumbula mina, from the door ehlukanisa the common rooms and the private rooms, from the door kuyale, then that would be my kids space, and angifuni umuntu ngale ukuya emakamereni. Hayibo manje ke umkhwenyana wakho ngathi angifuni coffin in my bedroom. Masizwaneni lapho. Angifuni coffin in my bedroom. I don't want masengihambile nonke sengisele nabantwana lana. Every time I look at some particular corner, I have a vision yale coffin ehleli la, then it gives me sleepless nights, taking me back and whatnot. There's plenty of space in the common rooms. I even identified a spot la coffin izohlala khona. Umntaneni ubekangafuni umuntu vele ekamereni lethu. So why manje masekahambile kuzomele kuloku kuphunywa kungena ekamereni like akho mattress ezohlala phansi, you leave my bed njengoba injalo. Is anything abafikayo bazolila and what not bazahlala, there's a lounge, there's a TV room, there's plenty of space, but njengale, can you let my kids be? Mabafuna ukukhala, mabafuna ukudlala, mabafuna ukubukela, can they just do the things they want to do? When how they choose to mourn, it's fine. And lena nje kuba uzamo, sengiyitempela ngithi, and umntaneni wayecelile ukuthi masekashona ayongcwatshelwa in Durban. I will gladly transport his body to Durban, and by so doing nize nazi ukuthi I am silently saying ube ngiphethe kahle ngale ndlela. Ma ngimphose in one of the graveyards zala eGoli, you will know ukuthi besiphila impiloni. My mom was not impressed ukuthi I spoke to my in-laws about such things ngendlela that I did, but I was like, can we just talk about it and get over and done with it so that they know? And I just felt that was touching on this authenticity in dealing with your in-laws, what to say and how to say it. ngoba yobe sebefika badictator lana sekumele ngibathe le ngubo-ke mina kulo matras mhlambe that day kuzobe ku-35 degrees ngaphandle no ways. But okay, yeah, the story for another day. Guys, if there's anything else anyone wants to share, any comments, any topics, eningafuna sizi ede, please feel free to inbox me. Louisa, you have your hand up.
I just wanted to add as well. I know ngibambe emsileni, but just to add on to what Chukoli said in terms of you know how to treat yourself with the in-laws and all that and your partner and all that. In my experience, for example, I found Uguchi, as women, we put ourselves aside, and to a point that even the partner you're married to ends up thinking to himself, am I married to a stranger all of a sudden? Because of all these rules, you know, that come. Because I remember at some point my ex-husband asked me the same question, which I don't know you anymore. And the sad part was when I also then reflected, I realized that even I myself don't know myself anymore, you know, because you're trying to fit into this box that everybody has created for you of who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to behave, what you're supposed to say. And to a point to which even when I had to move out of that space, the build-up that had to take place of finding oneself as a result, you know, was because of one trying to accommodate everybody else except myself in the process. So I think that's the one thing that we tend to do. We are always, but Nakona, I guess I would blame society because that's what we are taught. You don't matter as a woman. Your feelings don't mean anything, but everybody else's needs come first before yours. And I think that's the one thing that with the journey of finding oneself and being authentic to oneself, I realized, Ngempela, you have to take care of you and know what it is you are about. You know, to a point that if you want to turn somebody away from him young, you can do that. I mean, I did that at some point with my in-laws and it felt good, you know, to be able. But figure getting unannounced and hoping they'll come in. I'm like, I wasn't ready for you. You didn't make an appointment in Zanbona, you know. And it felt good for a change. You are taking care of you. You don't have to keep tossing and juggling and, you know, the type of a thing. So I think from an authenticity perspective, it's important for us to keep reflecting and introspecting and knowing who we are about ourselves, you know, so that even if you do find yourself in a different space, you don't lose that or end up confused with who are you as well, because you even end up confusing other people also. That's all I just wanted to add on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ntabi, for topic suggested. We will add it to the list. Thank you. I appreciate it. If there's nothing else, guys, I've already taken almost 2 hours of your Friday, and I really appreciate your time and patience. But if there's nothing else, maybe we can wrap up. Ne?
Thank you, Ceci. It's been amazing. I really look forward to the next one. Ke a leboga.
Thank you. And that's the reason, that's the other reason why I ask people to register over and above the cyber crime that is taking place. It will also help us come up with a mailing list so that when we have topics of interest, then or sessions such as this, then we can directly invite you and make sure that you don't miss out on some of these things. So we are getting a mailing list compiled for future use. You know, sizokwazi ukuthi sikhuluma nabo bani, what sessions do they attend, their availability. Nje sinifunde siniqonde, so that sizokwazi ukuthi sikhulume kahle izinto that resonates better with you. Thank you. I hope you gain something from this discussion, and I hope you will take some of the things and try and apply or start. Like I said when we started the session, interrogate yourself and understand who you are what means something to you and what doesn't mean anything to you, and understand that saying no, you have no reason to feel guilty about it, just as you would say no just as much as you will say yes when you feel like it. And if you upset anyone along the way because you're standing up for yourself and your truth, and you're being truthful to yourself, remember, you're not everyone's cup of tea. So there will be people who won't be pleased with your evolving. And awusimali ngeke bakuthande bonke, ngeke ubachaze bonke. With those words, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I don't know how heavy this one is recording, but we will try and edit it and compress it enough ukuthi siyiposte kuma social media platforms so that sizoyishare if it's okay with you. Laba baye baveza ubuso babo like uxola Shilo, siyabonga. Laba bangabuvezanga, there will be more sessions. It's okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Zamo. Thank you
I'm
very
ready
much,
with
everybody.
makeup and brows on fleek next time.
Why?
Well,
We
it's
don't need brows on
intentional. You
fleek,
don't need
man.
it.
How?
But if you're like me, nje vele mina ngiyazithandela ama-brows, uzuko taught me. If nothing else, my brows need to be sorted. It makes a big difference. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Cool.
Zamo.
Thank you
Good
so
day,
much,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.